Hi, I'm Lee and this is my podcast about my handmade life. You can find me on Instagram as Louleigh_ and on Ravelry as Louleigh. I have a shop where I sell knitting needle cases and notions pouches, and that's at Shop Louleigh on Etsy, but you can find links to all of my online places at louleigh.com. It is a delight to be back and talking to you again. I think the last time I podcast was before I went on my vacation, which didn't turn out to be quite as productive as I had planned. I ended up getting a cold and just spending a lot of time sitting on the couch working on my sizzle pop shawl. As you can see, my little hairy friend is back, and we actually have another little dog staying with us at the moment. She is the sweetest little border terrier and one of our dog walking chums, and so on the animal front things may be slightly more chaotic than they usually are. But you know, that's just how it is here. It's really lovely to have you along and to be chatting with you again. In community news this week, I have to remind you that the Stashed Appreciating Shawl Along is coming to an end on the 31st of August, which I think it's Friday. Well, that was when I said that I would draw the prize for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the prize for that on the date as I promised, but I'm actually going to leave the thread open because I still have 2 shawls on the needles, and it's so nice to have the chatter going on in that thread and the motivation to keep working on those. So I'm going to draw the prize on the 31st as I promised, but I'm going to leave the thread open so that we can keep chatting over in the group. Yeah, so that should be really fun. So over the last few weeks I have been mainly working on my sizzle pop shawl, which is a pattern by Leslie Ann Robinson, and it is a really pretty brioche shawl with this leaf motif, and I am at the point now where I have been working these leaves for quite some time, from this end right through to here, and I really love how this is coming out, and I'm completely bored with it now, and it's entirely addictive. I just keep picking it up. I've memorised the pattern now. Actually, I can do a Santa Claus beard look. How's that? Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, so I just keep picking it up and working on it. I still have a little way to go, so I still have to get into the really, it's an olivey brown sort of a section at the end. This was a ball of gradient yarn, which I should show you the back so you can see it. So it started with this really bright pink, and went orange, beige, now it's going into an olivey brown colour. So yeah, there's probably bits of yarn all over the place. So I was using a gradient on the back, which is Freya Fine Hand Paints in the Ember colourway, and then I'm using where's the label gone? Just a plain Jameson and Smith Shetland Supreme jumper weight on the front. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that I will have finished this one by the 31st, but I also started a doodler shawl as part of the Stashed Appreciating Shawl Along, so that will be the next one that I sort of spend some time knitting on. So this is the sock segment. The last time I was talking to you I had these socks that were very nearly finished. The yarn is Stylecraft Head Over Heels in the Sugarloaf colourway. And you guys unanimously agreed that this little lavender patch here did not make them faulty, and that I should submit them to Sockline so that they can be donated to charity. So that's what I'm going to be doing with them. So it's really nice to have them finished and blocked and all ready to post off. This week I've also released my ultralight ankle sock pattern. And this pattern was inspired by a pair of socks which I've shown you before that I was gifted from my lovely friend. However, these just weren't warm enough for me for winter, but I really liked the idea of a pair of lace weight socks with a reinforced heel and toe. So this is the first prototype of the ankle socks. And I've knitted these in Eden Cottage Titus lace, and using my normal sock needles, which are 2.5mm, and the normal number of stitches that I would cast on for my socks. And I've doubled the yarn for the cuff and the heel and the toe. Yeah, so at those points the stitch gauge is actually really similar to a normal fingering weight pair of socks for me, pretty much the same actually. And then the body of the sock is just knitted with a single strand. So there's actually not a lot more knitting in these than there is in a normal fingering weight pair of socks. It's not going to take you loads of extra time to knit up a pair of these. I have been wearing this one prototype around the house just to test drive it, and it's not showing any signs of wear yet, and still looking quite good, and it feels really lush. So sort of lovely and fine and soft and just really pretty. I knitted the sample using Martin's Lab Aubrey lace, and this is a slightly thicker lace weight yarn, and so the sock at the heel and the toe feels a little bit more like a trainer sock or a sports sock, but it still feels really nice, and I'm really pleased with the way that this has come out. Both of these yarns have 2 plies. I wouldn't recommend a single for this pattern, and they have silk in them, so they've got some reinforcement as well. And I've put notes in the pattern about your yarn selection for this. Yeah, so if you want to knit yourself a pair of ultralight ankle socks, then a link to the pattern will be down in the description box. And I've decided also to have a wee giveaway. I've decided to give away a little kit to one of my newsletter subscribers. And so the winner of that, I'm going to draw that on the 1st of September, I think it was, or the 31st of August? 31st of August, from my email list. And there'll be a link down below as well if you want to join up for that. And I'm going to give away a skein of Eden Cottage Titus lace, and this is the Diaskea colourway. It's really pretty. It's a lovely sort of lilac-y pink, just with little really subtle flecks of orange in it. So pretty. And it knits up just gorgeously, so I think that you would really enjoy that. The pattern takes, I think my socks came out at about 35 grams, so you would definitely get 2 pairs of socks out of a 100 gram hank of yarn. Anyway, so in the giveaway you would get you'd get the Eden Cottage Titus lace and a set of 2.5mm Knit Pro zings, and I'll also gift you a digital copy of the pattern. Yeah, so I thought that would be really fun to share that with one of you guys. This is the sewing segment, and last time I saw you I was making the toile for a second furrow dress, and actually if I scoot along over here I shall put some pictures just here of me prancing about in my furrow dress at Harlow Car. So I had got some lovely linen from Merchant and Mills, and made a short sleeve version of the dress. I didn't make any changes to the pattern, so I selected the size that was actually recommended for my bust size, and then just cut it out and sewed it up as it said in the pattern. And I'm really pleased with it. I think that the first Farrow dress that I made was sleeveless, and so for me is really only wearable when it's quite hot, whereas this is more of a trans-seasonal version of the dress to have in my wardrobe. And I really like this colour. It fits into my wardrobe really well, and goes with a few of the other things that I already have. So that's really exciting. So that's all from me for today. My focus for the next week is going to be to try to finish off Sizzle Pop, so that I can pick back up my doodler shawl again. And I also want to cast on a pair of the ultralight socks in the Eden Cottage Titus that I knitted the first prototype out of, because I'd really like to get a pair of those into my sock drawer. I'm not sure what the third project is going to be to focus on this week. I've been thinking a lot about my wardrobe, and particularly rounding out my summer wardrobe. I realise that summer is quickly coming to an, or has pretty much ended here. It was like someone flipped a switch and decided that autumn had started. But I've been thinking about the pieces that I might need for next year, because I quite often get to this time of year and think, oh yeah, next year I should make this or that thing, and then plan to do it in the summer and get to the end of the summer and realise that I haven't done it. So I've decided to have a wee think about that before I put my summer wardrobe away for the winter, and just think about pieces that I want to add to round that out. So yeah, I think those will be the three things that I work on and think about this week. It has been really nice to come and have a chat with you and share a little bit of time. I hope you'll come over and join us in the Ravelry group, and if you enjoyed yourself here, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Cheerio!